Dear brothers, good morning. Happy Friday. For those of you that are watching this on YouTube, you will notice that I am naturally in my St. Patrick's Day weekend attire with my Whiskey Helps shirt, and also that I have a giant eye patch on. So I had a fun couple of eye surgeries the last couple of days. I've got a couple more down the road. Everything's gone great, but I have to keep this giant plastic thing over my eye. And somebody asked me if I was going to, take a little bit of break from doing the podcast because of it. And I said no. And the first thing that came to mind was the guy in the movie version of 300 when Leonidas asked him if that eye has made him useless. And he's just like, the gods so graced me with a spare. So seeing as I have one good looking eye right now, we're going through this today. And this one is going to be pretty important. And so I hope you guys get something good out of it. So I want to talk about humility. The title of the day is Be Humble, No Man is Perfect. So we as men are very quick to point out the faults of other people. Gossip has become a really popular thing. We used to think of that as like a woman's tool, but men are just as susceptible to it. And me personally, I know that I have talked more shit than anyone probably in the past about other people. It always used to give me this sense of I'm better, I would never do those things. And, my self-righteousness kind of knew no end. And even worse than that, I would drag other people into it. And when you have this coming together of this mob, you're cultivating negativity and you find kinship in that. And it's so easy to become this group that's just looking for the faults of other men. And most of the time we're creating these opinions and judgments without having a clue about who we're talking about. We don't even know these people. Yet, whatever makes us taller makes them smaller. We, this beautiful epitome of perfection, you're looking at it. But who the hell am I? Who the hell are you? Are you blameless? No faults, never sinned in your life, never made a mistake, never crossed somebody, never screwed up, never done anything. You're perfect. The obvious answer is no. But it is so much easier to cast stones at others when we are unwilling to look at ourselves in the mirror and assess our own faults. Projection is a dangerous, dangerous game, and all of us play it. It actually reminds me of the story in the Bible where the Pharisees bring before Jesus this woman who's committed adultery. And they say to him, "Teacher, this woman was caught in the act of adultery, and the law of Moses commanded us that she must be stoned. Now what do you say?" And Jesus kind of takes some time and, looks around, draws in the sand and says, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." Time ticks by, and one by one, all of these people leave. And Jesus asks the woman, "Where are they? Has no one condemned you?" She says, "No one, sir." And Jesus' response is this, "Then neither do I condemn you. Go now and leave your life of sin." You guys and myself, we can point at others all we want. But until you are free of sin and free of vile action, you are in no place to cast stones at those around you. Not only does this show a lack of humility, but it is also devastating to growing manliness in the world. We are meant to be leaders, servant leaders at that, to be strong, to stand firm, to have honor, be bound by duty. What kind of man can be those virtues when he spits at the faults of other men? There's nothing constructive in gossip. There's nothing honorable about telling others they are useless or fallible or broken or pieces of crap. Constructive feedback and hatefulness are not the same thing, guys. Now, we should be telling men that they are screwing up. We should be letting them know that they can do better. We should be holding each other to a higher standard. But This should be coming from a place of men who are working on their own problems, facing their own demons. When they confront a brother, they do so out of love, not a lack of self-worth or the inability to address their own faults. It's not for the purpose, they're not gossiping about that. They go directly to the source. You can both slap somebody upside the head when they need it, while also being the first person there to pick them up when they fall. Being a jackass is unbecoming of a strong man. And I think that there's really two aspects that are appropriate for us to look at now. First one being this: we must condemn our own faults, bring our sins to the forefront, and seek forgiveness for our own problems, our own inequities. Rectify our own our own homes first, as the great Jordan Peterson has said 1,000 times. That in and of itself is enough work. This is going to breed humility because we're forced to face the darkness and brokenness in our own lives first. Second thing, we have to forgive those around us for their own faults. This is not the same as condoning bad behavior or condemning them to a terrible life. Forgiving them is one thing, but showing them grace is really the thing I'm talking about. Specifically because it's more about the fact that God gave grace to people who did not, in our minds, deserve it. Yet He gave it. If God can be graceful with others, who am I to judge them so severely? My judgment simply makes me feel better about my own inequities and pushes those people away from finding hope and meaning in life. By forgiving the people around us and acting the way we are supposed to through the pursuit of goodness, and by placing our demons on the chopping block, we can then join together as men built for handling the difficulties of this world. We can be gracious yet firm. We can be understanding yet steadfast in our beliefs because we know that we are all broken. In that brokenness, we can find solidarity. But in our pursuit of better, of being good men, we're going to find a brotherhood. Keep the slander to yourself the next time you think you should spit at the feet of another man. Go look in the mirror and get your own stuff figured out first. Humility, kindness, and success will follow. Happy St. Patrick's Day weekend. I love all of you. Captain Jackson Sparrow is out for the day. God bless. Be strong. Let's get after it, boys.